Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that we received, and it reads like this. How are you, Brother Nashi? Please hide my identity. I am a vendor man. Now I am aged 39 years old. I work in a government office here in South Africa. And it's not like my life has been always at peace like this. There is a chapter of my life that I have never forgotten. Even if my kids were to say that they want to enter into the music industry, I would rather die than to see them entering into the music industry. Even if it meant that I'm going to sponsor them, they are not going to be under any record label. I built a music studio for them at home. Never. I will never allow my kids to enter into the music industry. And I want to tell you why. And I do not want to urge parents to teach their kids so that they can be in the music industry. The music industry, it is very demonic. It all started, it was in the year 2008. At that time, I was just a normal guy. I was living in Sibasa. Ever since I was a child, I loved music. I would stay all night listening to beats, learning mixing, and I always had dreams that one day I was going to be a well-known DJ across our country. The people back home, they used to say that this one is going very far because they knew that I used to play with the music very well. And I believed what everyone said. Even my parents, they saw me as someone that was going to become a big DJ one of the days. I took just one bag of mine. I had a friend of mine who was working now in Pretoria, who encouraged me to come with him to Pretoria so that I can try my music. So I then packed my bag and I left for Pretoria. Brother Nashi, when I went to Pretoria, I went there not to look for a job, but I went there to start my music career. I knew that it was going to be difficult, but one day I was going to become a multimillionaire through the music. So I was staying at my friend's house, just sleeping on the couch, even on the floor, sometimes spending the whole day just eating bread, saying we are hustling, we are hustling. One day we are going to become multimillionaires. So when things would get hard during the day, I would go out with my friend. He would assist me to get some piece jobs. Then at night, I would be busy studying software, making music. When I finally bought my first second-hand laptop, I was happy as someone who had won the lottery. I started recording underground artists, and it was a little bit better because now there were artists that would come to my little mini studio. I even ended up getting my own place because music is very loud. When you are recording someone, you are always loud, and when you are inside the apartment of another person who is paying the rent, they are not paying rent so that you can make noise when they are fast asleep. So I knew that in order to maintain a good relationship with my best friend, what I was supposed to do was to move out and look for my own place where I could control. So I would sleep in the studio, wake up and just prepare for the other artist to come. These guys, they would pay me 100 here, 200 rands there. The money was not that much, but I was happy. When I did not have a lot of customers, I would go and I would do some piece jobs. I was very happy that I was getting close to my dream, because the more that I recorded, the more that I was meeting other people that were hooking me up to some guys that they said were going to assist me to record even big artists. By the time 2009 arrived, I had already started getting into clubs. And the way that I started getting into clubs was just carrying speakers for big DJs, setting up cables, waiting for a 20-minute chance to play, to shine, and to play the tracks that I would have recorded. Brother Nashi, that is when I started to see another side of the industry. Talent is not enough. People can ask me, why are you saying that talent is not enough? Maybe you were not that much talented. Do you have people that you know who just bloom, then they just disappeared? It is because sometimes you have a hit and then they want to sign you, they want you to sell your soul to the devil. And when you refuse, they are just going to dump you. Do you think that someone can be that much less intelligent to just have a one hit and then they disappear forever? They are never heard of. It is because that the conditions that they found themselves in, they said no, and then they destroy you so much that you will never be able to get someone to record you. Even the big producers, knowing that you have talent, they don't care about talent. They just want to know if you are doing the things that the big boys that would have signed you want you to do. If you do not have connections, it is simple as that you are not going to be heard. One night after an event, there was a certain promoter, a fellow brother. It even had this guy. He was from Thoyando, so I trusted this guy because he was vendor like me. He said, brother, I can connect you to other guys that can help you to get into the game. And he said to me, if you want to be in the game, you need to open all doors. I did not understand what he meant by this, but he was giving me clues and hints. He then let me know about this other man who was going to assist me. I was very happy when I went to that guy's house. It was just a mess. When we arrived at that house, there were naked women all over the place taking drugs. I was now stepping into the real music business that most of you do not even see what happens behind the cameras. They had been shooting music videos, and then after that they started to do drugs and sleeping around with the models that it came for the music shoot. So I kept on hearing similar stories. If you want to become someone, there are older wealthy women who can give you the money to record, who can uplift you. And if you do not do this, the industry gatekeepers, they are not going to allow you to enter and to be a famous person. At that time, I was young. I just thought that these stories that people were talking about, they were just joking. But as the years went by, I saw a lot of people that would rise overnight, a person that you knew who was just a struggling artist, and then all of a sudden they are in the VIP section with celebrities. When you ask, how did you do it? They'll just say, man, it is because of talent. Don't ask too many questions. Just have talent and move with the flow. Just vibe with it. I had a friend of mine who used to love to say, just vibe with it. He relocated from Pretoria to Durban, and he became a DJ who was not much famous, but he was playing in the most expensive clubs there. And by now, I'm sure that he is a millionaire. 2010, I was just a struggling DJ. Rent, I could not get rent money. My equipment, you are supposed to upgrade, and now you are not upgrading. You are being left behind. Still, I was fighting for my dream. I then had a child with a certain girl that I was dating. This child was the one who made me to work even harder. I wanted my daughter to see me on TV one day, but my baby mama, she was always pressurizing me. When is this music of yours going to feed us? She was someone that was ungrateful. I met this woman at the club, and she was that type of a woman who just wanted to be with a DJ. So when she would see me, she saw a rising star. She wanted to be the one who would say, I was with him when he was a nobody. But she had the habit of chasing each and every DJ that she could get close to. And it was really hard for me. You have a woman that is unsupportive, who is extremely ungrateful. I now knew many people in the industry, but every time I thought that I had an opportunity, it would instantly vanish. One promoter would promise me a gig, then the next day call someone else. One artist will say, we'll work together on my next project. I want your beats on my album. Then they just disappear. It was frustration. I started drinking heavy. and I would ask God, what have I done wrong? I am here in Pretoria, I am DJing, I'm going to different clubs, but it seems as if nothing is working in my favor. That is when I started to speak with other guys as well that were telling me things that I never wanted to hear. I had a friend of mine who was suddenly driving an Audi. He was a rapper and he was someone that was struggling. He was staying around Soweto, but he used to come to Pretoria so that I can record him. The first days I used to record him for free because he was just a struggling guy. And he started to drive an Audi, and then I asked him what was happening. What he told me, it scared me. He told me that he was dating another guy who was someone that was famous, but he was a music producer, a guy dating a guy. I will never forget. He said, if you want success, man, you just need to do what these guys tell you. Otherwise, you will never know success. It was in 2012. That is when the time I will never forget arrived. I was sleeping after a small gig I had done. The money that I had even been enough for fuel. The money that I had was not enough for fuel. I went to bed angry. That very night, I had a dream that changed my life. I saw my late grandfather. He was someone that used to love me a lot. He then came to me and he said that if anything was going to happen, I should never sacrifice my daughter. Instantly, I woke up. A couple of days after that, you won't believe it, that rapper guy from Soweto, he called me. He said, man, just move. Come, let us meet in Joburg, like right now. There is a place where I want to take you to. We then went to this other house. It was in Midrand, and after that we went to another Nigerian guy's place, but it was like giving ritual vibes. Later on, that was when he told me that he had laid the life of his son. He was willing to sacrifice his son so that he can become famous. He wanted me to be there so that I can have the courage to do it, to sacrifice my own daughter. I said, wow, I had a dream. My uncle was telling me that if it happens that there is someone who is going to tell me to sacrifice my daughter, I should never do such a thing, because my uncle was saying that do not sacrifice my granddaughter, because there is no one from our family who has ever done money rituals. You will be the first to do such a thing. There is going to be blood on your hands if you do such a thing. So I said no. That guy, I never saw him. I only started to see him on TV. He only had a little bit of success, then he just disappeared. After that, I started to see that the doors were shutting on me. At that time, I thought that maybe I was experiencing bad luck. I would go to Sangoma so that I can be cleansed for bad luck and I can receive good luck. But around 2013, things completely changed. The people that I used to see and record for free, they started avoiding me. Promoters, they would not even answer my calls. You could tell that this person is seeing my calls but is not picking up. The artists that I used to record, they were working with other famous producers. Brother, the thing that hurt me the most is that I knew that I had talent. I never saw myself as someone without a gift, but it had become as if every time I tried to rise up, there was someone that was pushing my head back down into the water. The money was running out. I did not have anything. My baby mama, she moved back to her mother's house. She said she was tired of me being broke and she left me. I loved her, but there was nothing that I could do. She even denied me to see my own child. In 2014, things got worse. I was getting fewer and fewer gigs. I was already giving up on becoming a famous DJ. And when some of my former friends, you would see them on social media DJing, even on rooftop parties, yet you're still DJing at the taverns. I said, what is it that I'm going to do? 2015 arrived. I'm just a struggling DJ. There is nothing that is going on. So the opportunity came at a certain Nigerian club here in Pretoria. And then this Nigerian, through a promoter, they were looking for a resident DJ. I did not sleep that night. For the first time after years, I felt that there was finally hope. I was going to be a DJ at a VIP club as a resident DJ. The money that they were talking about was a lot that I had ever made. I was going to be in a 3-year contract. The contract would end in 2018, then we renew again and again. Accommodation, good salary. I said, God, now you are starting to show your face and shining it bright on my face. We had a few meetings. Everything was professional. They wanted to hear my set. Then one day, I was told to come to the club so that we could sign the contract. Brother, I put on my best set, I put my best suit, I took my portfolio, I went. When I arrived, the owner, he was there, but he was drunk. When I saw that he's drunk, I said, what's up now? Am I going to sign papers with this drunk guy? Because he was by the VIP section. So then he said that, let us go to the office. When we went upstairs to the office, he said, before we sign, let us freshen up. Go and freshen up in the bathroom over there. I never suspected anything. I just went into the shower and I just washed myself. And then I returned back to the bathroom. That was when things changed. Brother Nashim, when I returned back from the bathroom, everything was different. The owner was doing things that I did not expect. There were bottles of baby oils that were on the table. There were other things that I did not understand. He looked at me and he was half naked. He said, if you want a contract with me, let us make love. I said, how? This guy, he wants to have sex with me. I am a man. And I said, no, I'm not going to do this. He was angry and he started wearing his clothes. He took those baby oils and then he put them somewhere else. And he said, don't waste my time. And he said, I'm giving you another chance. Let me have sex with you. I'm going to give you this gig. And I said, no, chief, it's fine. As I was walking away, he said, you are never going to be successful. I am going to tell my friends, you can just say your career is over. I just said, sharp, chief. As I walked away, I went and then I returned back home and I said, this is fine. I am not going to be in this industry anymore. When I went back home, I just sat on the bed looking at my decks, my laptop, everything that I had, and I cried. And I cried not because I was hurt, but I knew that the chapter is now over. I sold everything, the decks, the equipment, everything. And I just sold everything and I returned back to Venda. I started to apply for admin work and then I managed to get a job. I later met a beautiful woman, and this woman, she never knew about my days as a DJ. And today I am at peace. I don't own a mansion. I don't own a big house, but I am okay. Never. I don't want my kids to enter into the entertainment industry. Never. In that industry, there is Satanism that is happening. It is not about talent. You are going to lose your soul. If you want to be famous, you are supposed to sell your soul to the devil. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us talk with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.